When she finally opened the door, she saw that the prize was none other than Princess Draupadi. This unexpected statement by Kunti, according to the author of the epic, was meant to align with Draupadi's destiny. As soon as the door opened, Draupadi, walking gracefully like a royal elephant, placed the garland around Arjuna's neck while the royal orchestra played the Panchala national anthem. However, the princes in the crowd were furious. They argued that the Svayamvara was a Kshatriya tradition, and a Brahmin should not be allowed to marry the princess. The Brahmins, meanwhile, cheered for Arjuna, waving their deer skins in joy, and the situation seemed headed for a battle. But Sri Krishna and Balarama stepped in and calmed the princes, having already recognized the Pandavas among the Brahmins. Draupadi, following tradition, bowed at the feet of Kunti, saying, "I am Panchali, the daughter of King Drupada of Panchala, bowing before my mother-in-law, the mother of great heroes." The customary blessing from a mother-in-law is typically, "May you have many children." However, Kunti, being thoughtful and sticking to tradition, blessed Draupadi with a twist, "May you have many children, but avoid the mistake I made. Don't give birth to heroes, scholars, saints, or warriors. Instead, may you have sons with good fortune, for I've learned that a bit of luck is worth more than all the greatness, intelligence, or virtue one could have." After the Pandavas returned to the potter's house with Draupadi, Sri Krishna visited them. He was delighted that his dear friends and brothers-in-law, the Pandavas, were alive and full of energy for the future. Speaking to Kunti, who was his aunt, Krishna said, "Mother of mighty heroes, your hardships are over. This alliance with the king of Panchala will have great consequences. The Kauravas will now be even more fearful of the Pandavas. You can safely return to Hastinapura, where you will be welcomed with open arms. The Kauravas cannot afford to push the Pandavas away now, especially after this marriage with Draupadi. Public opinion will turn against them if they don't make up for their mistakes. Yudhishthira, with his 4 unbeatable brothers, is destined to become one of the greatest emperors in the history of Bharatavarsha." Kunti, who had endured so much, found comfort in Krishna's kind words. His encouragement lifted her spirits. Meanwhile, Drishtadyumna, curious and concerned about his sister's fate, secretly followed the Pandavas. He observed how they behaved and how Draupadi was treated. When he returned to his father, Drupada, who was equally anxious, he reported, "I am happy to say that Draupadi is in good spirits. From what I observed from a distance, she has already won the favor of her cheerful mother-in-law. The family consists of 5 brothers and their mother, and I believe they are indeed the Pancha Pandavas." Drishtadyumna reported that he saw a regal woman with a glowing aura, who must be Kunti Devi. However, they wanted to be certain, so they devised a simple test. The clever royal priest was consulted and sent to the Pandavas with an invitation from King Drupada, asking them to stay as honored guests at the palace. The priest brought gifts that followed both Brahmin and Kshatriya traditions. He also brought new clothes for the Pandavas, both Brahmin and Kshatriya styles. When the Pandavas and Kunti received these gifts, they naturally followed the customs of the Kshatriya class. The priest quickly realized they were unfamiliar with Brahmin practices. On the day they arrived at the palace, the Pandavas dressed as Kshatriya princes and came in royal chariots. Drupada, Drishtadyumna, Sikandi, and the nobles of the court welcomed them warmly. The way the Pandavas carried themselves, their royal attire, and how they descended from the chariots made it clear to everyone that they were Kshatriya princes. At their first meeting, Yudhishthira confided to King Drupada that they were indeed the Pancha Pandavas. Drupada was overjoyed. His plan of setting up the difficult test with the Matsya Yantra had paid off, and his dream of having Arjuna as his son-in-law had come true. All the humiliation Drupada had faced from other Kshatriya kings for giving his beautiful daughter, born from the sacred fire, to a poor Brahmin was washed away. Now, instead of shame, he felt a deep sense of pride and accomplishment. When Draupadi suggested the formal marriage of Draupadi to Arjuna, Yudhishthira explained that the 5 Pandavas had decided Draupadi would be the common wife to all of them. Draupadi was shocked and displeased, saying, "This goes against all proper traditions and moral codes." Yudhishthira responded that their decision was fated and was part of their family tradition. Draupadi, when asked privately, did not object to the proposal. The marriage was then celebrated on a grand scale with all the usual grandeur and festivities.